Hello everyone, this is Dr. P. Mary Anupama, Assistant Professor, Department of Biochemistry, St. Joseph's College for Women, with the topic Structure and Functions of Muscles. The contents of this lecture will include a detailed structure of the muscle and then functions of muscles. Structure of muscle tissue. Muscle tissues as such exhibit a highly specialized and organized structure that enables it to perform any essential functions, of which the most important one is the contraction efficiently. Each muscle, it is composed of many elongated cells which we call them as the muscle fibers, which are organized together into bundles. So these bundles, which we call them as the fasciculus. These bundles, they combine together to form the entire muscle. And here you can see that each fiber that contains the muscle fibrils, okay, that is responsible for the contractile properties of the muscle. The myofibrils, these are arranged parallel to one another, and they consist of repeating structural units which we call them as sarcomeres. The sarcomeres, they extend from one Z line to the other Z line, and it is considered as the smallest unit that is capable of contraction. Within each sarcomere, there are two types of protein filaments. So these filaments, we call them as the thick filaments and the thin filaments. Thick filaments and the thin filaments. The precise arrangement of these thick and thin filaments that enables the muscles to function efficiently. And these muscles, they are also striped or striated in the appearance. You can see that these are contributing to striations. So striped muscles, the skeletal muscles will have these striations, hence they are called as striated muscles. Now let us see the detailed structure of a sarcomere. So here is the representation of a sarcomere, which is consisting of the thin filaments and the thick filaments. So the interaction between these filaments, they contribute to the overall muscle contraction. The thin filaments, which we also call it as the actin system, it is composed of the protein actin along with two other proteins which we call them as the troponin and the tropomyosin. These are considered as the regulatory proteins. The tropomyosin, mainly it blocks the myosin binding sites which are present on the actin, and here once the calcium binds to the troponin, then there is a shift in the tropomyosin, and this exposes the binding sites of the actin filaments, which can interact with the myosin and thereby enable their contraction. The thick filaments, these are composed of the protein myosin, which plays a direct role in muscle contraction. The myosin molecules, they have a long tail and globular head. This head region, in particular, it is very important as it has the ATPase activity, meaning that this has the site for binding of ATP and it is responsible for the hydrolysis of ATP, releasing energy. This energy which is released here, that is utilized to generate the force that is required for muscle contraction. The myosin heads, they go and bind to the actin. The actin has myosin binding sites. So when these are exposed, then these heads go and bind there, forming cross bridges, and this generates the force for contraction. The forms of actin and regulation. As such, actin exists in two forms. We have G-actin form, which is the globular form, while we have the F-actin form, which is the fibrous form. The G-actin molecules, which are globular, they polymerize to form a long chain known as the F-actin. These form the thin filaments. This arrangement, it is required to provide the strength and flexibility in the muscle structure. And the interaction between the actin and myosin, we know that it is highly regulated. It depends upon the availability of calcium ions and ATP availability. So if they are there, then only actin and myosin will interact, thereby leading to muscle contraction. Now let us see the functions of muscle tissues. Muscle tissues, they perform wide range of essential functions in the human body. They'll be contributing both to the voluntary as well as involuntary activities which are required for our survival. So let us see each of them. Coming to movement and posture. Firstly, movement. This is one of the primary function of muscle tissue. The skeletal muscles, these are attached to the bones and they enable voluntary movements like walking, running, lifting objects, facial expressions, etc. These movements, they are under conscious control and they are essential for daily activities. Next important function is the posture maintenance. Even when the body is at rest, certain muscles, they remain partially contracted to maintain the posture as well as balancing the body. These continuous low-level contractions prevent the body from collapsing under force of gravity and they also help stabilizing the joints. Muscle tissues, they also play a significant role in heat production. During muscle contraction, energy is released in the form of heat. This heat, it helps in maintaining normal body temperature, especially in the cold conditions. Shivering is one example where you have rapid involuntary contraction of muscles taking place that will generate heat to warm up the body. Next one is circulation. So the cardiac muscles which are found in the heart, they'll be contracting rhythmically to pump the blood throughout the body, ensuring that oxygen and nutrients, they are delivered to all the tissues. The smooth muscles in the walls of blood vessels, they regulate the diameter of the vessels and thereby control the blood flow as well as regulate blood pressure. Muscle is also responsible for involuntary movements within the body. So the smooth muscles, they control the involuntary functions or the involuntary movements. So these include, for example, in the digestive system, we see that the digestive tract, it facilitates the movement of the food by the process of peristalsis. Similarly, they help in the movement of urine from the urinary system and also they play essential role in the uterine contractions during the childbirth. In the respiratory system, the smooth muscles, they regulate airflow by adjusting the diameter of airways. Through this topic, we have learned that muscle tissue is made up of elongated muscle fibers containing actin and myosin. They are responsible for body movements, the locomotion, maintaining posture, body stability, aid in heat production, muscles help in circulation, and internal movements like in the digestion, respiration, so on and so forth. Recommended books for further study include Guyton and Hall Textbook of Medical Physiology, Essentials of Medical Physiology by K. Sembulingam and Prema Sembulingam, or Human Anatomy and Physiology by Elaine and Merab et al. Or you can study Review of Medical Physiology by Barrett, Susan, or This is the another one, Textbook of Medical Biochemistry and Physiology by M. N. Chatterjee and Rana Shinde. Thank you.